morning out there once again, and wishing you all a very good day. It is now 18 minutes after 7 o'clock outside. The temperature sitting at 12 degrees, and this is the KILI Early Morning with Cullipy show. And if Robert Running Bear is out there listening, please give us a ring up here at the radio station. We have several families that are out of propane and need your assistance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this Robert Running Bear?
Yeah. We're going full swing.
You're going full swing, huh?
We are swamped.
The funny story is, one of them is, we never had a restroom. We didn't have the water. We had to haul water to make coffee. Right there where that trash bin is, right next to it was an outhouse, wooden frame outhouse. And days like today, when it's cold and windy, the house would get blown down the hill. So if anybody wanted to use the restroom, and sometimes they'd wait till 3 or 4 wanted to use the restroom, and then they'd go down there and push the outhouse back up the hill and set it up. And it was crazy, you know, how the whole thing started, you know.
Kili!
Is this the Kili station?
Yep, it is.
Could I play a song?
What do you want to hear?
They have the encore of Eminem.
Yeah.
Can you play it?
All right, then.
My name is Jared Olters.
Just play that. Wait for a little bit, all right?
When Kili was first on and they were getting ready to broadcast, the tower was up, and that day, you know, I was just building up to it. You know, Kili's gonna get started, they're gonna broadcast, and oh, I was so excited, but I couldn't get leave from work. I couldn't get away from work to go see it, so I just tuned in. But I cried, I just cried. I said, I knew it, I knew we were gonna do it, I knew it was gonna happen, I knew it was gonna be a reality. Here it is, 90.1. You know, yay, it was on the air. I don't even remember how it was without Kili-Radio. You know, we depend on it so much. People wouldn't be able to hear the council meetings. Before, you know, there was no, you'd have to go clear to Pine Ridge and get copies of the minutes, or have your council person come back and tell you a few little highlights of what happened. But when you listen to Kili-Radio, you could hear the discussions. You can hear the actual discussions of what your council person's saying. And are they really voting for what you want them to vote for?
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Tom!
How you doing?
He's all right. Everybody's waiting on you.
Who's waiting on me?
The whole town of Pine Ridge, hey?
Huh?
They're about to start a riot.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right, we're going to go ahead and switch it back over and let Tom Casey take over from now.
Thank you very much. Coming at you live tonight from Rapid City, South Dakota. Tonight we'll bring you boys basketball action right here on Kili FM radio. Tonight we're following the Crazy Horse Chiefs as they come to Rapid City to take on the Rapid City Christian Comets in boys basketball. Crazy Horse is looking for their first win of the season. So stay tuned right here to Kili FM radio, the voice of this great Lakota Nation.
found with your teeth?
They're gone.
They're gone?
I need to ask you about, yeah, no, my bridge broke. In the middle of the game, my bridge broke.
See, that's a bridge.
Remember I told you? Can't do this interview because my teeth are gone. My bridge broke. In the middle of the game.
Some people burn bridges, he breaks his.
So, you think your stickum would work on this, to stick this on?
I don't know, if you can stick them.
Huh?
But I'm sure you could.
Really?
Polygrip's the best.
Okay. We'll be in business. You should have... I had a terrible time finishing the game last night. Because all of a sudden you're broadcasting, you're talking, you got front teeth, and your tongue's working with your teeth and all that, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Can't satisfy everybody.
Down there anywhere. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm just going to have to call the radio station, have them look for him. Trevor, you want to go get me that cell phone? One of those cell phones? Hi, this is Roxanne Tubles calling. Can I do a PSA? I'm in Red Shirt Table, and I have a missing horse, and I don't know if he's stolen or what, but his name is Wakia. And my home phone is 255-5234. Yeah, and if you can give me a call if somebody calls in, or have them call that number if they've seen him anywhere. I mean, it's global now. The whole world is connected. The whole world is connected. I mean, I could get on eBay and say, here, I want to sell this necklace, and somebody in New Zealand will buy it. You know, that's how connected we are. But a part of Lakota people don't want that worldliness. Like me, I'm here, I'm on this little tiny piece of land, and I'm here, and this is me. And this little piece of land has a history. The fence that surrounds it has a history. I have a history. Everything has a history. But this little piece of land is feeding me. It's feeding my children. And I respect that. Where else can you get that?
Several groups of American Indians have banded together to march on the nation's capital for a redress of some long-standing grievances. But the president refused to see them. Congress is out of session. So today they took their caravan to the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
They came from as far away as the Pacific Northwest and as nearby as North Carolina, American Indians from 250 tribes. They came to the capital as a trail of broken treaties caravan, they said, to reclaim their lands and their rivers and, most of all, their dignity. There were more than 500 Indians in the caravan today, with thousands more expected tomorrow. They were angry and they wanted answers.
This is a country where all men are created equal, and it's the land of the free and the home of truth and justice and liberty for all. Well, we want to know why that doesn't apply to us.
To me, it was about we're being treated unfairly. To me, it was always about how we're treated. And these laws and stuff, or whatever this stuff is, that's just things, language you have to speak to the people, all right, so that they can maybe grasp some kind of a sense that we're not being treated right. I mean, an understanding of it. Now, I don't mean a sympathy to it, but I mean a serious understanding, because people have been sympathizing with Indians for forever. First white people got off the boat, some of them sympathized with us. Right? Didn't change nothing.
Temperature sitting at 17 degrees. I'm pretty sure that's right. We got a low around 12 degrees tonight. Tomorrow night says snow likely. Wednesday says snow likely. And that's too much snow for me to keep going. So we're gonna leave it at that. Those of you that do not know the number, it's 867-5002.
You got that, those ghetto Yeah. You singing?
Yeah.
Did you play it?
All right, then.
Because I'm coming back into the res, and that's all it is to me, so.
All right.
All right, later, man.
Enjoy the ghetto.
First of all, we gotta get rid of, we gotta move all those tires over there, or over there. When I moved here, I realized the seriousness of my life. I realized that I was put on this earth for a purpose. You know, I'm here for a reason, and, you know, what I put myself through prior to my recovery is what I'm teaching people now, or giving them guidance for what to avoid and what not to do, and, you know, to avoid the kind of chaotic things that I put myself through. I've been through several marriages, relationships, you know, domestic violence, a lot of violence, and it's, you know, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But in my life, that was normal. That was normal. That was just how everyone lived.
We are preparing for the Native X Factor talent show. So if you're not doing anything, make sure you stop by. You can find us now. We have signs at the bottom of the road on both entrances. It is 86 degrees and the time is 5 minutes past the hour of 2. And we will be coming on air live with the talent. And once again, don't forget, have your phones ready. If you have to stand on a hill, a car, whatever you have to stand on to make your calls, your votes do count.
Oh, this is just the first part. But my insanity is art, because most artists are crazy, not in the right minds. If you can't see the truth, you're blind. If you can't see, then rewind about 5 times. You look in my eyes, listen to the lies of the... Ah.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Down a little bit. Are you ready, boys? Woo! Yes, 1, 2. Oh, there you go. Yes, 1, 2. This one has to go down. Blue one.
Buzzy tells me it's 5 minutes after the mic is shut off. Then people listening on Kili-Radio can call into the radio station with their vote. So people at home, people in your cars, get a little pad of paper or remember your favorite, because your vote counts. That's 50% also. It'll all be calculated in together. And that's why the winner will be announced tomorrow, because we won't know until tomorrow.
So on that note, we're going to go to the master guitarist standing and staring at us right now. Go ahead.
I understand
this is number 12,
DJ,
Jake.
Mr. Jake Bibb.
I'm from Riverton, Wyoming, and represent the Northern Arapaho tribe. Here's a song that you've never heard before. Well, I seen that look in your eye before, but I never thought I'd see you walking out my door. I know that you've been hurt and I'm so damn sorry, but darling, please forgive me one more time.
So this one here is a country tune for all you country fans out there. Ready to get them country boots shined up and polished and get down, because we're gonna get down up here on the butte. 90.1.
One more time.
One more time.
The American Indian movement was very much involved in the beginning of the station. And I think in the beginning people thought that it was an AIM station. But it really became what it is. It became a community radio station. Its goal was to respond to the community and provide that service to the community, that communication. That, you know, when the idea first came about for the Kili, you know, there was no newspaper, weekly newspaper. This is 1979 when they first started talking about it. There was no newspaper who dealt with the reservation as a community. There's no other radio station or TV that dealt with Pine Ridge as a community. The only thing you heard was crime, accidents, negative stuff. That's all you heard. And so, you know, in an area 50 by 100 miles with not people struggling for transportation, at that time too, there weren't that many phones. And so we certainly didn't have cell phones then. And there was just a need for communication. So that was the idea, is to put Kili on the air.
This is the voice. We are the voice. And we can, you know, this is the heartbeat of the ridge. I mean, come on, if you can't talk to one another and let everybody know what's going on out there, you know, we don't do the smoke signals so well anymore, so we've moved up to the digitized signals. All right, so are the ladies ready?
No more smoke signals.
When I dream of you, I feel so brand new. I cry to have you near, a vision so clear. I wish I could have you near. Spring rains come and go. The earth begins to smile. Can I shower down on you? Then you can fill me with life. 'Cause baby, this feels alright. Could you be my earth? Okay, I just need to get some water. Can I be your sky? Oh, good job. Could you help me, please? Come and make the thunder groove tonight.
You know, I lived in cities, and I would have hard times, and I would think, oh, God, why was I born an Indian? Why did I have the misfortune to be born a poor Indian? You know, when money was a big factor, when I had to have money but I couldn't because of the color of my skin, because I was an Indian, I blamed it all on that. And then it took, you know, my sobriety and my recovery to realize that, hey, I am wealthy. I'm rich. I have love in my heart for my children, and I have love in my heart for my community and my family, and I know where I came from.
The standoff continues at Wounded Knee, South Dakota. 200 Indians still occupy that small community, and federal marshals still surround them.
It's been more than a week now since the Indians took over Wounded Knee. They still say they're not going to give it up until their demands are met. It doesn't look like that's going to happen now, and the Justice Department has given them an ultimatum.
For their own safety, I'm asking them to leave now, or at least to send out their women and children.
The Indians went through the tribal ritual of preparing themselves for battle. American Indian movement leaders said the purpose of the takeover was to dramatize injustices to Indian people throughout the United States and to bring attention to poor living conditions on the Pine Ridge Reservation.
There had to be paybacks. And they did. I mean, there were paybacks. You know, I mean, after the occupation of Wounded Knee, there was a reign of terror, indiscriminate violence directed against traditionalist and AIM supporters between May of, let's say between 1973 until into the summer of 1975. There were consequences. There were consequences to the people of Pine Ridge that I think they're still paying for, and there were consequences to the American Indian movement. American Indian movement, the momentum of the American Indian movement was broken there. It was never the same after that.
Here we go. That's right. Don't forget the Guala commemoration tomorrow, the 30th anniversary. And let's keep in our hearts and minds the brother that couldn't be with us, Mr. Leonard Peltier, still doing his time in Leavenworth, the prisoner of war of the United States.
This is the 30th anniversary of the incident at Oglala and why Leonard is not with us. And it's time, you know, we keep saying it's let the great healing begin.
It's been 30 years, and we still have questions, too. I know that a lot of people have questions about it, and we have questions as well. You know, we want to know why there was never any investigation.
That's right.
30 years ago.
We do want rattles.
See, there you go.
All right, go ahead, boy.
And here we go. NOZ.
I look at my life and it seems hopeless. I can't call it pretend. Will I make it through the struggle or will I fall in the end? Regardless, never forget where we're from. We was born to respect all the fear, none but the future leaders of this righteous land. We got to initiate a plan to get back to land. The government decided to borrow. I'm live now, but I'm riding tomorrow. On a resin fest with death and sorrow. The gosh law didn't put us here. We were forced here. Breathe drama again, suffer like the man. See, no chance to advance. Our culture will never survive if the language dies. Deep down inside, I hear the elders crying. Half my generation's locked up, the other half's dying. The tribe will never survive on a budget. No wonder why Fire Thunder's hated. The devil on his one-way route. Dedicated to Lukey and Johnny and Zig, and we out. Yeah, made about love. Yeah.
Yeah, outstanding.
We got the twins. The twins did it.
Some of you may remember that back in 1976, after the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights had come here a number of times, they recommended to Congress that there be an investigation about what the FBI was doing right here. And Congress never answered the question of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights either, to hold an inquiry. And they seem even less willing to do so today. Is because what the FBI was doing out here to the Lakota people and other Indian people in an effort to crush and destroy the indigenous movement in this country, in this hemisphere, and as it continues to do so, and as it did with other movements during that time period, it was getting ready for where we're at today. But we can't get a hearing. We can't get Congress to look at it, because they don't want people to understand that history that goes back 30 years, that goes back 400 years. Everything that happened here on June 26, 1975 was precipitated by lies. Everything that happened afterwards was by lies and by cover-up. And for that, Leonard Peltier has sacrificed 29 years of his life. I want to thank you all for your time.
Oh.
Would ask you to turn off your recording equipment, cameras, everything. Have some respect here.
The reason I believe that our ceremonies can't be filmed or they can't be taken in a photograph is because when you take that photograph, you capture that time and that moment, and that's just like taking a piece of us. We don't have any to spare to give away anymore. We've already given enough. Our lives, our children, our dignity, given enough away.
Peltier is an Indian movement activist convicted of the murders of 2 FBI agents in 1975. The 2 FBI agents, who'd reportedly come to arrest felony suspects, were met by heavy gunfire.
Leonard Peltier's case represents the best documented case of injustice in this country, of a man being targeted for criminal prosecution for his political activities and not for his criminal activities.
Leonard Peltier was the only one convicted of the killings. But in 1981, his lawyers found a memo from the FBI in which a firearms expert said he could not match a bullet casing found at the death scene to the gun believed used by Peltier.
I'm guilty of standing up for my people's rights. I'm guilty of trying to stop the oppression that I've experienced and I've seen my people experience. Those are the things I'm guilty of.
He didn't say murder.
I never killed somebody. I never killed anybody in my life.
After Wounded Knee, our momentum became that of a defensive nature because they took everybody into the court system. See, so you can't have a lot of momentum when you're just defending yourself. And I think that was the government's strategy.
Some mistake me for being the brain twisted. Look at me crazy like I'm strange and misled. I was misled, so I'm listed for living pity, robbing gritty, living in a itty bitty city where they got a native hopping cause I'm struggling. Praying for this money cause the hood got me starving hungry. Plus every day you're doing the same stuff as yesterday. Making money, serving fees, there's gotta be a better way. They say life's supposed to be beautiful. What is it when colors you like cause funerals? It seems nothing in this world is ever getting better. I'm steady trying to put the broken puzzles back together. I'm facing some of the hardest stuff and nobody knows. Lord, guide my spirit and forgive us lost souls, cause I'm having thoughts of death creeping in my mind. I'm walking on a thin line, feeling like I'm blind. Images of graveyards cloud my vision. Think, what's my purpose in life? What's my mission? My ambition is itching to a success, cause I'm trying hard as heck. Man, the pressure's on my chest. I got blood dripping on my eyes. No one really knows the pain I face.
I want to say what's up and give a shout out to everybody out there driving across this beautiful Lakota reservation. If you ain't up here right now, you're missing out. This is the spot and this is where it's at. So, and I want everybody out there, if you ain't got nothing to do, just come up here and enjoy yourselves with us. We're all enjoying ourselves up here, having a good time. Everything's going on, you know, it's the Native X Factor. First time we're ever doing this.
That was me back then. Got tired of being poor, so I put some cash in my pocket. Craving this money like chocolate. I maintain a good hustle, nobody can knock it. You gotta be in your wildest dreams to this. My flow is the coldest, that's why you think I wrote this. Now notice, my style is better than yours is. So focus, listen, it's incredible. I'm never slow, I lived a hard life trying to get this dough. I caress my soul in the hands that fed me. A nice little boy grew up to be deadly. Who would have knew when my mama said she would raise a miracle? Through all the bull crap, I'm still imperial. I can't be faded, it's the Pennywise native taking over like America did Iraq. The kid is back, making plenty stacks. My rhymes are ill, they don't wanna send me back. Cause no longer do I have them whack penny raps. I got the $1 million lyrics that I sell if you hear it. I'm almost at the top, I can feel I'm near it. That's it.
You wrote all that? We got those beats yours too? Did you put the beats together yourself? No?
That's all right. It's all about
man.
the words.
That's what I'm talking about. And that all came out of your soul, huh?
You got more? You got more to share later in round 2 and all? Right on, right on.
All right. Dominic Stans from Rapid City, y'all.
Some of our young men have no jobs, and so they have a hard time. Some of our young women, they have no men to stand there for them, so they have a hard time. So this next song I want to sing for all of our young people out there. Encouragement. I want to encourage you to stand up and be strong. And this is taken from one of our veteran songs, but I adapted it to this song.
You know, we keep saying it's let the great healing begin. And we realize that the youth, it's the youth. We need you guys out there as really potent artists with the voices, saying what it is you say, as well as the doctors and the scientists, and you've got to go become the lawyers, and you've got to get out there, you know, things that have been done to us. It's on the books. You can go to a court of law. You don't always get your way, but at least we can try. So that's all.
Caitlin is number 11.
Number 5? Okay, thank you.
Kili-Radio.
Yeah, what are they voting for?
It's for the talent Native X Factor we just did.
What?
Were you listening?
No,
Okay, well, we've got a lot of calls coming in. It's for a talent contest.
Oh, okay. For Will Peters?
Will Peters. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kili-Radio.
I'd like to vote for 10.
Got it.
Before the 60s, or before the thing in Wounded Knee, a lot of times people were afraid to be Indian. It was hard to be Indian. But after Wounded Knee 73, you look around and it seems like there was kind of like a cultural revolution, because now you have a lot of people having sweat lodges in their backyards. You have people doing sun dances, people embracing their spirituality. And I think it was all right to be Indian after that, you know. But before that, it was really, people, it seems like they weren't so, so free to be Indian.
Better come down. I don't think I'm gonna find it.
Oh, wherever it's at. Can't find it.
Can't find anything?
No.
I think you can do it without the belt?
Yeah, probably have to.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to go, just go slow, go one rung at a time. And when you get up there, just the bolt, unloosen it a little bit, just wrap it on there, and then bring it around and tie it on a leg.
All right.
Do it before the lightning hits. Are you ready there?
Yeah.
All right. We'll go follow you up there.
All right.
If you look around to other radio stations, they have real elaborate, expensive webs to ward off lightning, kind of lightning rods. They have real big, expensive systems, but the spirits told the medicine people that we can put up a feather and have the same protection. So we put it up there. We've been here for 22 years. We've only been hit once out of 22 years, so it must mean something. If it gets too windy, come back down.
Be careful!
You can't tell from down here, but when you get up there, it starts getting really windy. See how the antenna shakes a bit?
lot of gangsters.
Then there's a lot of gangsters, so I'm kind of scared because I didn't bring my bow and arrow. We came in and came down.
Well,
we went east for a while, and then we went north. We went west.
So if I get out of here, out of this is like one of the main drags.
The United States Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit has scheduled oral arguments in the pending case of Alex Whiteplum, Percy Whiteplum, and Tierra Madrid versus United States of America for December 12, 2005 at 9 a.m. in St. Louis, Missouri. The Whiteplums assert their right to raise industrial hemp as an exercise of their sovereign rights and pursuant to the Glossary Tribal Ordinance enacted to secure rights guaranteed by the treaties of 1868 and 1851.
A South Dakota family says that they were not growing marijuana. Today, federal judges hear their argument for growing industrial hemp on the Pine Ridge Reservation. After 3 years, brothers Alex and Percy Whiteplum tried to grow hemp on their property near Manderson. Every time, if the drought didn't kill it, the federal government destroyed the crop. The Whiteplums say that they want to use the plants to make clothing and other products or sell it to companies. Today, their lawyer, Bruce Ellison, says the Whiteplums were not growing a drug. Since the hemp had extremely low levels of THC, U.S. Prosecutor Mark Salter says that unless the government changed the definition, the crop was marijuana.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The United States Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit is now in session. All persons having business before this honorable court may now draw near and they will be heard. God save the United States and this honorable court. Please be seated.
My name is Bruce Ellison. I represent the appellant Whiteplum family, also known as the Whiteplum-Teoshpai. In 2003, my clients had contracts. The $180,000 contracts for that year alone would have quadrupled the economic income of the entire Teoshpai. The Teoshpai had simply been trying to exercise their agricultural rights under the 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty between the Lakota Nation and the United States.
I brought my 2 sons with me to help me, give me strength, and they're young and strong, and they got warrior blood in them, so that makes me feel, you know, that gives me strength to look at my son and, you know, the future and think about who's coming after him, you know, and all of those things. We traveled, you know, 15 hours on the road, and not only that, but it's been in waiting and waiting, just endless waiting, you know, like 5, 6 years now, and so I'm just hoping for a good turnout.
The same political, economic, and social deprivations that Indian people faced 25, 30 years ago, they still face today. Pine Ridge unemployment rate is 85%. The average age of a Lakota man is 41 when he dies. The infant mortality rate of Indian children is about 10 times higher than the national average in the United States. Most families, there's such a severe housing shortage in Pine Ridge that most families have 2, 3, 4 families living in houses that are designed for one. The educational system is dramatically underfunded, and many of the people are drinking from water that is contaminated either by low levels of radiation or by chemicals from various chemical spraying operations, even though some of the freshest underground water in the entire region is underneath Pine Ridge. None of it goes towards providing water for the people. So those situations very clearly still exist.
That was halfway, though.
That was halfway. How was it?
Pretty windy. No, that's the highest I've ever been.
He must have went up, what, 5 stories? There ain't no 5-story buildings on a reservation, huh? Hospital's, what, 2 stories? It's a little bit shorter than the Empire State Building.
Before Kili, I used to be a bad boy and all in trouble and going to jail. all that other stuff. Hanging around with the wrong crew. Start getting into Kili, and I just put it all aside and growed up. Now I don't do as much as I used to. You know, just working there, it kind of makes me look forward to doing something. Something I can do, because there ain't too much to do around here. There's not enough jobs for everybody, so you got to get a job and keep it, you know? So that's what I've been doing. I just do what I do every day. I go to Kili, play people music, feel good at the end of the day because people jammed out.
Alright, turn up a little bit. Yeah. Alright, I want y'all to listen to the words I'm about to speak. They're my thoughts and opinions of the beginning and in the week. Now as I leak a message to my friends and all to you, how I seem the precious, the end, than the truth. Believe what you believe is true, and know we all gotta die. There's nothing we can do, but no one lives alive. Surviving back in the day was nothing to our people. When we lived the ways, everything was equal. I see you bring the evil, most guys are for themselves. They seen a piece of land, and feds that got some wealth. No one did the hell with the language on this day. In battle, it was God released the anger to every man. The warriors never ran, fought to the very end for the kid and the friends. The mess I'm trying to send through this pen is when you feel like quitting and throwing in the towel. The strength is in your heart, so shocking just like wow. Now, allow me to say how we change your words.
What's up, kids? What you guys want to jam out and play basketball? That's it? Well, don't hit my station here.
So, for those that don't know my name is Derek Janice. I'm from Kili-Radio. We're jamming out some music. I don't know what it's called. We're jamming it out, though. These guys want to hear a song, some Snoop Dogg. All these little guys here want to dance with all these little girls. So we're gonna have a dance later.
Surviving back in the day was nothing to our people. When we lived the ways, everything was equal. I see you bring the evil, most guys are for themselves. They seen a piece of land, and feds that got some wealth. No one did the hell with the land.
We're gonna get in a couple of announcements here before we get back to some music. We're gonna have some music, and then we'll have the news here on Kili-Radio. Betty's Kitchen today, there's a special. Roast beef, mashed potatoes, beef gravy, corn, fresh baked bread. Also turkey deli, choice of lettuce, tomato, cheese, mayo, mustard, onion, olives, and pickles served with a side salad. And ranch and a bag of chips. And soup is white chili today with fresh baked bread. She's located a mile south of Anderson on the west side of the road, high up on the ridge.
Let's make a volcano so the water stays in. Okay, let's get it. Okay, now let's put this in here. Just stand up straight. There we go. If you look around, there's people everywhere that have been here for years and years. Along the flat here, they've been here years and years, and their trees are huge. Their trees are really big, so you could tell that I haven't been here very long. My trees are just kind of getting started, so in a few years I'll be established. Once you can see my trees from the road, when you can no longer see my trailer because of the trees, then I'm established. I always wanted to live in the Black Hills, and I always wanted to, have a log house. Actually, it was our place in the winter to gather and stay safe from the storms, and we have burial. People are buried there. Spiritual Black Elk had his visions there, and that's where he had the vision of the breaking of the sacred hoop. So it's a very, very spiritual place for us. And the 61 treaty took those hills from us. The hills were promised to us. We could keep them and have them, and we have 4 Canadian provinces and 13 states that are part of our treaty area. And little by little, by eminent domain, this area, South Dakota, became a state, and we became a reservation from this whole big area. It became a state, and now we just have a county to call our land. After they signed a treaty with us, then they let General Custer in there on an expedition, and they found gold. So the treaty didn't matter after that. Sister, come on, we got to get ready. It's 4:30. It's 4:30, and Susie wants to leave at 5. Here, sit down. Sit down. Take your ponytail on. Do your hair. Trev! Remember Susie wanted to take you to the casino for fireworks? Okay, she's gonna leave in half an hour. You guys could ride your bikes down there, okay?
Okay.
But remember, you're just going to watch fireworks. Don't hold a flag, or don't be saying the Pledge of Allegiance or nothing like that, because we don't believe in that.
I know.
When the United States got their independence, we lost ours as Indian people, so don't. Remember, you're just gonna go over there to watch the fireworks because they're pretty, and that's it.
Okay.
Another dawn rises over Mount Rushmore, over Washington and Roosevelt, Jefferson and Lincoln. But it also rises these days over a small band of American Indians who cling not only to the craggy edges of the mountain, but to the hope that someday this land will be theirs again.
We feel that we have a responsibility to carry on those valiant efforts that were made in the past so that we might survive as a people. We said that the churches, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and white European education was our 3 worst enemies. That is designed to strip us of our culture, our heritage, our language, and eventually our land, and to extinguish our native rights.
The leadership of today's demonstration says there is a special significance for the Indians coming to Mount Rushmore. That being that the presidents carved into rock here were all responsible for the deaths of Indians, for the violations of Indian treaties, and for the denial of Indian rights.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt all had visions of a great nation. A nation where men and women are free, and the government is established by the people, for the people, and of the people. Their vision and ideals laid the foundation of our nation, which today stands alone as the single greatest example of freedom on earth. Today, Americans enjoy freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to vote, and a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Since that day, 200+ years ago, servicemen and women of this country have stood watch, protecting our shores and our freedom from those who would steal it and repress the citizens of this great nation.
United States Air Force! Here they come to lead our thunder. Atom boys, give her the gun. Down the rise, fighting a flame.
It's an important day for our nation, but frankly, this holiday is an important day for freedom-loving people throughout the world. There's no better place anywhere in the world to celebrate our independence, to celebrate our freedom, than here at Mount Rushmore, South Dakota.
One thing people do is they come here to see Mount Rushmore, the shrine of democracy. They're not told this is a sacrilege, that this was a stamp of the United States government trying to say once and for all, this is American territory. How interesting that In the name of freedom and democracy, we deprive people of it to create it. And of the people whose land it is, they not only don't get benefit from it, they can't even use the land. Can't, not without government permission. If a Christian wants to go and pray in the hills, they don't need government permission to do that. If an Indian person does, who wants to go pray in the hills, they do. And according to Forest Service regulations, the only person who can request a permit from the government to go and pray is someone that a tribal government recognizes as a spiritual leader for the Indian people and can show the Forest Service that the particular area that they have wanted to do a ceremony has historically been used for that ceremony. Now, how do you prove that for people who didn't leave marks anywhere when they would conduct their ceremonies?
American Indians, Native Americans are America's biggest secret. They don't tell the world what they do to us. They don't tell the world what they've done to us in the past, and they don't tell the world how they oppress us now to this day. And it's a big hoax. It's a big lie. And that mountain over there, that shrine of democracy, proves it. Proves it. And to me, it's audacious to put the shrine of democracy in our spiritual, sacred Black Hills, and it just angers me that that happened.
I got no fight with the American government. I got no fight with America. I don't agree with 99.9% of who they are and what they do, all right? And I would articulate that and express that to the best of my ability. But that's about thinking. I think we need to be thinking more and fighting less, because all this fighting is getting in the way of thinking. And that means that means that we're not being as coherent as we should be. Because anybody who wants to change the situation, no matter who we are or where we are, those of us that feel we're the downtrodden, if we want to change our situation, then it's important that we think this out. We use our intelligence and think our way through it. Because if we want to fight, in reality, this is a battle of wits. And if there's any chance of them not winning, I don't even know if we can win, but if there's any chance of them not winning, we really have to get it. If there's a battle going on here, it's a battle of wits.
For information, contact Percy at 455-1088.
I have to rewire the whole thing, but I'm not sure if I got time today. Is it going? See?
Yes, there you go. It went off. Trying to come on, and then whatever you touch back there,
you can't even bump the desk.
We'd like to apologize for the dead air, all the loose wires we have up here at the studio. We need to work on those, kind of tighten those up a bit, but once again, we'd like to apologize for that.
Held in loving memory of Aunt Margaret Jenkins and Marla.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, honey, wash day. This is Roxanne Tubles from the Oglala-Sioux Tribe Employee Assistance Program. I haven't been on the radio for a long time, but I want to say to all the listeners out there, welcome to our show, and I hope we can start this new year really informed and aware, and help each other and heal if we're healing, and keep on working hard on our recovery if we're in recovery. What I'm going to do is talk to you about methamphetamine a little bit, how persuasive of a drug it is, and how addictive it is. You know, there's people that I know, older people that are worried about their grandchildren or their children that are using meth, and they don't know where they're getting it. They don't know how they're getting it, but they're getting it, and they're getting high, and they're getting violent, and they're missing school, and it's scary. It's a scary, scary thing that's happening to our reservation right under our noses, and we don't even realize it. Things like that, and then eventually the treatment. Good morning. Hello. You made it. Yeah. All right. Everybody knows me. My name is Roxanne Tubols. My grandfather is Moses Tubols. He was here. He was one of the original members of the community. And everyone here in this room today, we're related. We're all from the same Tioshpai. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been up here telling this story. I wouldn't have been, you know, organizing this community. I wouldn't have been sober, and I probably would have been dead the way my lifestyle was. I wish that somebody had told me about it 30 years ago when I was growing up, when I was the age of these little kids here. All of these kids.
I'm just emotional. My name is Cheyenne River Basketball. Mary and Warden are my adopted parents. And what I expect to learn from this seminar is who I am, and to know the stories about drinking. And because, you know, according to what, you know, I'm starting to learn about, I never knew why I was adopted. I was told my mom was an alcoholic. And, you know, even the way she lived, I knew it wasn't right. And it's been really hard. Because ever since that time, I always had this question about wanting to know who I was and what I was here for.
My name's Tom Yellow. I'm originally from Wood, South Dakota. My father, he resides in Oak Creek. My mother lives in Rapid City. They're both recovering alcoholics. I never was raised by my parents because they went through the alcoholism and they divorced. And my grandparents raised me and my 4 sisters. And my uncle, he would say, you know, you can't cry, there's no crying because you're a man. Men don't cry. So then that's when I first started stuffing all my feelings inside. Then I went to school and I graduated high school and I was 18 and I first tasted alcohol. And I liked the way it made me feel. I didn't have to feel my feelings. Last year at this time I was up in Rapid, I was on a drunk, I was walking the streets, it was cold, you know, and I didn't care. And it's just because the alcohol had so much control over me, and it is pretty powerful.
A few announcements here and we will get to those, but right now I want to do a couple of memorial songs, and I'm just going to do a list of those who have passed away. Chantel L. Bacon Wilson, age 15, passed away due to overdose of methamphetamine. Also, Brandon Waters, age 13, of Pine Ridge, passed away at Rapid City Regional Hospital, age 13 years old.
No, he isn't. May I take a message? I think he is. You betcha, bye-bye.
When I was growing up, I was subjected to Presbyterians, Episcopalians, Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, and, you know, it confused me. I mean, I went through, like, my adolescent years and even into my 20s where I was thinking, well, what's... Because everyone was saying, no, we're the truth over here, no, we're over here, no, and I felt like I was being pulled all these directions, and pretty soon I didn't believe in anything. I just knew that there was a God. I knew that there was a higher power, but I didn't let those religions, these organized religions, influence me, and where I had to go kneel in a church, in a building, and kneel and say prayers over and over and over. I didn't want to do that because it was unnatural to me.
What Jesus did on the cross was enough. So he rose and he went back to God so that we can go back to God after we die. And I'm gonna be really, really, really sad not to see you again. But I'm very, very, very glad that I'm gonna see lots of you in heaven. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad.
3 months ago, we came here because we got called from God to come and build this church. The church 2 years ago burnt down, and we believe God, the Creator, told us to come and build this church. Well, this church is going to be much bigger than the one that was here before, and we believe it's a reason because God is going to bring many more people to this church. We're actually making friendship bracelets, and what these do is to remind the children or whoever's around them that what these beads stand for, the colors of the beads. Now, the first one we're starting with here is going to be black, which means sin. We are all born sinners. And because of that sin, we needed something to come along and cleanse us from that sin. And that is the blood of Jesus. We have black for the sin, blood, which is red, which is remind them of the blood of Christ. And this is what happens when you're cleansed by the precious blood of Jesus. Though your sins may be scarlet, they may be white as snow. Because of the purity that Christ gives you from the blood, we can live a life that's righteous before God. In other words, instead of living wrong life, living in sin or drugs or alcohol, bitterness and unforgiveness and all that thing, we can live a life of righteousness because of all these things.
Whether it's Pine Ridge or Guatemala or Venezuela or parts of Africa or Asia, the missionaries have always played a role with the colonizers in trying to take people away from their traditional values and beliefs and societies and to make them something that they're not, with the idea that they'll be saved.
Wow.
Birthday!
The frame is up! Awesome! We are here upon this land once again, God, and we declare your greatness and your awesomeness, and we declare, Father, the heavens over this place to be open. God, we know that we have a date with destiny, that eternity is watching what's taking place. All heaven is looking down on what's taking place this weekend. Lord God, as you heal the land. Jesus is Lord of Pine Ridge. And God, we release his glory, Father, and we thank you that this is a date with destiny, and you're going to heal this land this weekend, God.
Our chief, Bigfoot, and his people were getting chased by the U.S. cavalry. And they were chased them through here all the way from Canada. Chased them all the way to Wounded Knee. Men, women, children, and elders. They rode non-stop. No food, no water, nothing. They just kept going because they were running for their lives. So they just kept going. They had no choice. And so that's what we're kind of doing today, is just like retracing the path that they took in honor of them, you know.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news today. This is Kili FM Radio, 90.1 on your FM dial here in Porcupine, 88.3 in Rapid City. Once again, the anniversary of Chief Bigfoot and his people who came to Wounded Knee and were massacred back on December 29th, 1890.
But our European ancestors came here with one thing in mind: to steal and kill and destroy. And 115 years later, we stand here tonight and say we reject that in the name of Jesus. See, the Bible says that if my people, all of us, from all of these races, will humble ourselves and turn from our wicked ways, whoops, and repent, then God, if we ask Him, would come and heal our land. What was taken from your people will be restored to you. It will take some time. But is God going to do something awesome tonight? Yes. Is He going to show up? Yes. Is He going to do some amazing things? Yes. So that this generation grows up knowing peace and knowing love and knowing freedom and knowing prosperity and knowing blessing and knowing God like no other generation that has gone before. Symbolically, a sword was raised against your people 115 years ago tonight. And symbolically, we as a white race lay it down. Tony, will you forgive my ancestors and me for murdering and slaughtering and doing all those bad things to your people? Thanks, baby. See, it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start here, tonight, now, between us.
We grow up in a world where the world that surrounds us, our reservations, are all non-Indian. And we are looked upon, because we have so much poverty on the reservations, as we're looked on by the outside as being dirty Indians, that we're not as good. And many of our children believe that they're not as good. Because since they're very poor, they don't have as good of clothes. They don't have all those things that they see on TV They don't see, when they go to Rapid City, which is 70 to 100 miles away, they go shopping or they go see a movie. They see all these things, they see how other people live. And they know that they can't live that way because they don't have the means. So in many ways it makes them feel inferior, not as good, second best. And so we have to tell them it's okay. It's okay to be Lakota. And that's what we hope this ride teaches them, that it's okay to be Lakota.
This is a song to Harold Good Voice Flute Jr. He's going to the airport today. It's his first step on his way to Iraq. And his mom, Lillian Tobacco, and the rest of the family want to wish him the very best in his journeys, especially when he goes to Iraq. Here's Earl Bullhead with a song of encouragement.
Carried away on this here, it could go for hours and hours. Everything that I have here, all my stuff, every day when I come in, I say thank you, computer, and thank you, mixing boards, just because I have them, because not a lot of people do. And if I didn't have them, then I wouldn't be in the situation I am. And all the stuff I got isn't mine, but I know how to work it, so I just use what I have.
Hey, guess what? We are gonna have a surprise guest. I just got a phone call. He is on his way, and he is not new to the area, but it's wonderful being able to talk to him and have him here. So once he gets here, I will announce who it is, but stay tuned. Hey, I got a surprise for you. Once again, we'll have a surprise guest in the house. Stay tuned for our surprise mystery guest.
The ninth song.
The ninth song.
Now it's got a long intro.
Okay.
Right. It's a long song, but it's got like a minute and 45-second intro, and then it goes into vocals.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
one time as nations.
Want to say hello?
Hello.
Well, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Oh, well, that's John Trudell.
Tell me a little bit about this song we're getting ready to play.
I wrote this particular song. It's called Cry Your Tears. And I wrote it in relationship to the September 11th thing in 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a listen, and then we'll come back right after that.
All right, well, it's a long listen.
Okay.
Now you want us. Now you want us.
To cry your tears for you.
To cry your tears for you.
After we've already
bled for you.
Already been dead
to you.
Now you want us to cry your tears for you.
Now you want us. Now you want us. To cry your tears for you. Chapters of a democracy story. Descendants of genocide. 12 score and more years ago, we went from being the majority to being the smallest minority. Now you want us. Now you want us to cry your tears for you. We saw that empty early morning skyline.
We still hurt from the loss that we lost. We lost half of our tribe in that massacre. So, and it hurts. It hurts a lot of people. A lot of people still suffer to this day from that one loss, from that massacre.
How did our land?
Like the Untis, they suffer. And so when we ride, and they see us ride in, that relieves pain from their heart.
Cry your tears for you, while we're still crying tears of our own, with your past as your future, that industrial ruling class, using religion as a weapon, distilling love into hate, pointing fingers and name-calling evil, sacrificing lives and blood, making the innocent the new virgins, offerings to the gods of light. Now you want us. Now you want us to cry your tears for you.
Already been dead to you. Now you want us to cry your tears for.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was my first response to when all that happened. I thought, well, now you know what it feels like. I mean, really, I mean, not to minimize what happened to anybody, but that was the first thought in my mind. Well, now maybe you know what it feels like, you know.
What is that? I mean, how do you feel about that, you know, with Wounded Knee and, you know, driving here and being here?
Well, I always like coming here. You know, I actually, because I come here at least once a year, maybe a couple of times a year. I wander through Pine Ridge, you know, doing different things with my All Tribes work. So it's always a treat to me.
Well, make sure you keep in touch with us.
No, I will.
You know, the door's always open.
Yeah.
Feel free to come anytime.
Yeah, I will. All right? And thanks for having me on.
No problem. And thank you very much for sharing that with us. And we'll visit some more, okay?
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Kili.
Hey, I'm calling from Rapid City. What's your guys' new call numbers up here?
88.7.
88.7?
Yeah.
It feels like you chopped off my arm or something. We can't find you.
Huh?
Chopped Underhawk on the line.
So we try to make it down to what you need during daylight hours. Just wanted to share that information at this time. I thank Buzz, Kili-Radio, and all those people listening. Give you a handshake, and hope to see you all again.
See, we still carry the memory of who we are. Every generation, that memory gets dimmer, all right? So, I mean, and that's something to be aware of, too. But you know, genocide and colonization, in the end, in the final analysis, you take all emotion out of it, all the stuff out of it. It was the form of evolutionary reality that we were faced with. So if we understand we're in an evolutionary reality and we're being changed by the evolutionary reality, but it doesn't mean we aren't who we are.
Leonard, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're live on the air, Leonard.
All right. Well, I'd like to say hello to the people, all listeners of the station. Hello. I'm calling from Leavenworth, Kansas, United States Penitentiary.
Leonard.
Yes.
There's two people here that want to talk to you. Grandma Nellie Redall's here.
Hello, Grandma. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
All right. You sure get around. I'm glad, though. I'm glad you keep you active, keep you healthy. Glad, makes me feel good to know that you're always out there fighting for me, Grandma. I appreciate that. Send you my love for that. So.
We don't know how long they're going to let you talk, so
all right.
Maybe you could go ahead. Leonard, are you still there?
So if you guys want to hear a song, call me up, let me know. I'll be playing your song, just a song. So call up here, let me know who sings it, the name of it, and Kili.
Hold on, my friend, hold on. It goes, something about you, baby, drives me crazy. Something about those pretty girls.
Hey, no.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'll play it just for that.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. All right.
Alright, turn up a little bit. Yeah. Alright. I want y'all to listen to the words I'm about to speak. They're my thoughts and opinions of the beginning and in the week. Now as a little message to my friends and all to you, how I seem the precious, the end, than the truth. Believe what you believe is true, and know we all gotta die. There's nothing we can do, but no one lives alive. Surviving back in the day was nothing to our people. When we lived the ways, everything was equal. Why should you bring the evil? Most guys are for themselves. They seen a piece of land, invested, got some wealth. No one did the help with the language to understand. In battle, it was doubt, release the anger to every man. The warriors never ran, fought to the very end for the kid and the friends. The mess I'm trying to send through this pen is when you feel like quitting and throwing in the towel. The strength is in your heart, so shut
We once were warriors. I like to think about that, you know. If I was alive back in the day, I'd be a warrior on a horse, you know. But now today, we got this world we're living in now, and I'm a DJ on the hill.
This was for my tribe. I been through so much pain, and all I ask is why. Went through so much rain, can you hear my cry? What did I'm going insane? Still you always see me try, for my kin I maintain. This one's for my tribe. Picture living back then, back with all you can. That strong religion, what kept our people strong. Scared the white men, they said it's evil gone. Now as I sing along with these songs that I sing, you start to catch on, is it wrong? The point I'm trying to bring, like a ring or a ball. The earth, the inner eyes, the way others live. From birth until they die, let me try to explain. Mostly they're the same, it's a shame. The way they made us change, and live in a white society. Until this didn't lie to me, the reason why I be. The real reason's lame, but now you understand. The underhand plan, the strongest their reign. Will label as hostile, crazy horse the man. Was very Pentecostal, but in his own way. Alone he will pray. Now as the lane say, this rap that I made in this day, we had our own way. I'm thinking about survival, I came without a Greek, so I'm bad with the Bible. Yeah, they call me Side, though I want my native name. I'm rapping till I die, tell my people it's my aim. My life's a crazy gang, got changed, and walk the red road. On the weekends, not to think it hit us way instead of getting told. Explode, switch a mode, explode but ignore, go bold. Yeah, I got the code, pushed up on, we explode. Hero was foretold, that was my code. Tell me, did you listen? Are you dissing, reminiscing, and it's missing thoughts that I got. Thought you wanted pop, but this is hip-hop. What I drop, will it stop? Probably not. Time to close up shop, but just for a while. Work on what you got, cause this is my style. It's all up to you.